Today we had Senator Jason Lewis of the Massachusetts Legislature come and talk to us about the ballot question coming up on the 2016 ballot to legalize recreational use of marijuana. Senator Lewis is the joint chair of the Legislative Committee on Public Health and also chair of the special Senate Legislative Commission researching the potential legalization of marijuana.
I'm Josh Young. I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs here at ABCD. Again, thank you for coming this afternoon. We're really honored to have State Senator Jason Lewis with us.
There are a couple of ballot questions this year that are very complex and when simplified, make you go easily one way or the other. But they're really very, very complex, and it's great to have Senator Lewis really get behind what the issues are and what all of this could mean for our state.
It's so important for people to really understand what this ballot question is all about. And most people think this is just about an adult being able to smoke a joint in their own home. And really it's about far, far more than that. It's really about whether we're going to open the door to a commercial billion-dollar marijuana industry in Massachusetts and everything that comes with that.
One of the arguments that's made for the ballot question is racial disparities in arrests. And I believe that racial disparities in our criminal justice system are a huge issue. That, however, should not be conflated with what is happening with marijuana. There's virtually nobody in Massachusetts today, whether they are white, black, or Latino, who's being arrested for using and possessing small amounts of marijuana.
Spending really a year researching this issue taught me that this is not a simple issue, and there's a lot of things to consider: criminal justice issues, health issues, safety issues.
One of the things that we're particularly concerned about is the fact that our young people, the perception of harm of using marijuana has declined precipitously in the last few decades. For young people, when your brain is still developing, particularly the younger you start and particularly the more heavily you consume it, the scientific evidence is absolutely clear that this is very harmful to your cognitive development, to your health and well-being. It increases your risk of developing mental illness as well.
People asked really good questions, both pro and con, on the legalization of marijuana.
I wanted to ask what impact this would have on an employee-employer relationship from a public, from a safety perspective, say in a kitchen or a firefighter, or as a Head Start program. Where THC stays in your system much longer than alcohol, what impact that could have on us from a liability perspective as an employer or safety of the people that we're serving.
Our business community is very concerned about that. It wouldn't mean that you can, smoke or vape or consume marijuana in the workplace or go into work high. It wouldn't change that. But the issue with marijuana, of course, is that you could have THC in your system even if you didn't consume it for a few days. So you could imagine lawsuits coming from that.
What I got out of the forum this afternoon was just how complex the issue really is and how important it is to really educate people on all the factors that this encompasses, from jobs, possession, arrest, all of those things that play into that. And I think making sure that we have funds to do prevention and education, should the question pass, is going to be key.
By looking at the data in Colorado, is there a projection of how many jobs legalization would bring to Massachusetts?
I think it is true that obviously the industry does create some jobs. The estimate in Colorado is maybe 10,000. Most of those jobs tend to be on the lower wage side because they're either in grow facilities, sort of basically agricultural jobs, or they're in retail stores.
ABCD, of course, has extensive experience with teens and addiction and some of the recovery high schools. And so ABCD's on the front lines of what we're dealing with in our communities already. And I just worry that if this ballot question passes, again, and we not just legalize marijuana, but we commercialize it, that it makes it more difficult for all of us. And I just think that's not the best way to move forward in Massachusetts.
I think it's wonderful that Senator Lewis came out to ABCD to educate staff, clients, members of other programs within the facility, and the community at large.
ABCD is committed to community conversations. We are committed to civic engagement, and the only way that we as voters, we as citizens, we as residents of Massachusetts can clearly and knowledgeably vote our conscience, vote our opinion, is when we know what we're voting for. And that's why ABCD is doing community conversations on the ballot referendum questions for 2016.